Hello and welcome to the National 5 Computing Science course. We're absolutely delighted that you've chosen the subject that is shaping the world that we live in today. The technology was important before, but if you think about the way that we've been living during lockdown, we are completely reliant on computers and the internet in order to communicate. But who created the web pages, the apps, the programmers, and even the games that we've been using during lockdown? That's what we're interested in. Okay, so over the last while, who's been listening to music on Spotify? Who's been watching movies on Disney Plus or Netflix? These are all stored on massive servers which are accessed through apps or websites by us, the users. All of these movies and songs are all stored in huge databases. And because all this information is collected about the music or the movies as well as you, the users, suddenly you'll find that you're being recommended to watch this movie next or to listen to this music next. Well, why is that the case? How do they know how to do that? Well, every time you listen to a song, that's compared to millions of other users that have listened to that song as well as others. And so it uses the database or the server or the system will use an algorithm in order to recommend something that you should listen to based on what other people have. This is all part of databases, and this is something that we look at in third year, and it's very, very interesting. It's actually something that you've looked at quite recently in S2, where we talked about machine learning just a few weeks ago. Okay, so the National 5 course is made up of 4 different units. The first one that we will be starting with makes up about 10% of the overall course, and this is known as computer systems. Computer systems, again, we've touched on a little bit in S2 when we've talked about binary in order to make numbers and ASCII using text and bitmap graphics and things. That is computer systems. So it's been quite useful that we've done quite a bit of this in S2 already, so that should make the transition a little bit easy. Then we move on to other things such as web design. Again, something else that we've touched on in S2, and we'll obviously be going into more detail when it comes to S3. We also look at databases, as I mentioned, so how information is actually stored, and then how you can actually use that information. And then the fourth one is software design and development, and this usually takes up part of fourth year, or the majority of fourth year. And this is probably the largest unit of all, and this is programming. This is creating algorithms, creating code in order to take a problem and then solve it. Now, one of the first things that we need you to do is download OneNote if you don't already have it, and you probably do because this is what you were using for your reflective journal in S1 and S2. But we use it basically for everything. We use Schoology and OneNote, and OneNote ends up being your jotter, your textbook, some revision quizzes, and it's really important that you have it on your iPad, your mobile phone, your laptop, basically any device you have, make sure you have it, because that means that you will always have access to your resources. There's a video guide on here on Schoology to allow you to get started with OneNote and to get you signed up to the National 5 Computing Science. So that's about the first thing that you need to do. Okay, so your online learning is going to look like about 3 periods of work to work through during the week, and we will set it through Schoology, but then your lessons will actually be on OneNote. Okay, each week at the end of the week we will set you a Schoology quiz, which will be marked, and you'll be able to have that after it has been submitted and marked. But the most important work is the kind of work which is on OneNote. If you're doing a lesson, though, chances are there'll be a little task after it, and we're looking to see you to be completing those tasks as well as the Schoology quizzes at the end of the week. It's really important that you keep on top of these from day one. We don't want anybody falling behind and having to catch up. So if you have any problems, if you have any technical problems, give us a shout. Okay, so let's get started. Like I said, we are delighted to have you on board in National 5 Computing Science. We are delighted that you've chosen this subject. Other people in your year group who haven't chosen this. They're still going to be computer users, but you are going to be computer scientists. You are going to understand all the fundamentals of the things that they are doing on their computers. Why wouldn't you choose this subject? Okay, good luck, and we look forward to teaching you for the next 2 years.